Raila Odinga has just done what he's known for, that he's a very courageous, brave leader, and once he believes in something, he doesn't wait for it to happen, but he pushes it. Raila is aware that we must now walk the talk, that tokenism to women constituency is a thing of the past. We must now demonstrate through action, act and deed, that we mean it. So that is number one, that he has proved that Kenyans are now ripe for, women constitute 50% plus of our population, and inclusivity is cardinal as a principle in our constitution. And so Raila has just demonstrated that this now must be taken to the next level, where the second strongest office in the land, powerful office in the land, is going to be occupied by a woman. Number two, look at Martha Karua and ask yourself, what is she bringing? First, if you listened to Raila, first he named Martha Karua as a deputy president and minister for justice. What Raila is telling Kenyans clearly is, I am going to concentrate on economic revival and bringing this country to prosperity, but there is someone here who is my principal assistant, whom I'm delegating the responsibility of reforms and carrying forward the reform agenda that has actually somehow
Is this a code name for BBI?
Well, you can call it whatever it is. BBI, we know the fate of BBI. So if you have to revive it, you have to do it differently and within the law. And that is what Martha Karua talked about. I was very keen in listening to what to her speech. And she said, if there is going to be any reform, it will be done within the law and follow the processes and procedures. So what I was saying in a nutshell is that Raila is bringing someone who is going to complement him. Complementarity was key. Secondly, Martha Karua has experience in government. She has been a cabinet minister for 6 years. She has been a member of parliament for 20 years. She has reform credentials. Apart from bringing the women constituency, she is bringing those with the reform agenda, the civil society with her. And this is someone who, despite the fact that she has been in public service that long, from a magistrate to where she was before she left parliament or left government, you can hardly find where Martha's name has been mentioned that she's being questioned for embezzling, fraudulent actions, corruption. She's free from all that baggage. So this is a very strong, you can call her opinionated, but a very firm leader, if so to say.
Cherargei, what problems would you have with Deputy President Martha Karua?
You know, the description, the CV that my brother John Bad is giving is a perfect description of a perfect deputy opposition leader. And you know, Raila Odinga is an expert in opposition politics, and we wish him well because we want the government of William Ruto to be properly checked. Number two is that Martha Karua has been there for some time. You remember he left in 2007 and tried, I think 2013, that is when she ran for presidency. It is not news that she got a paltry of 43,000. And you know, this is not the first time that she's running for a national seat. Number three is that when he says, when you read the book by John Gidongo, It's Our Turn to Eat, in 2006, him and Raphael Tuju dismissed John Gidongo as a sellout, yet she was the Justice Affairs Minister who should have allowed her. In fact, that press conference was done in her office. This was a person who was in charge of justice. He was in charge of fighting anti-corruption, but she had an audacity with Raphael Tuju to describe John Gidongo as the sellout. And if you read that book extensively, John Gidongo quotes extensively, and then when she realized that this is a person who can run away from the job, she resigned. You know, you cannot, when the things become too hot, you don't resign from the seat. You hold your ground and steer the ship. Number three, there is even allegations, and I think it has mentioned, and thanks to my brother, he quoted also the newspapers. There are some newspapers that quoted her that she participated also in allegations of corruption with British American Tobacco in this country, and she received a bribe. So when you talk about Martha Karua and say she is not corrupt, she is not, they have serious allegations. And I request my brother, he finds time, or I can give him the book by John Githongo. It's our turn to it. He can also read. Finally, finally on Martha Karua has failed to convince Kirinyaga people to vote her as a governor. That's a small seat. If she has failed to convince her to run as a governor, she was never elected. You saw today when she was in Kirinyaga, she could not even raise a crowd. You remember when we went with Baba.
What is a crowd? What is a crowd?
You know, a crowd that, like what my brother was showing me a few minutes ago, that's a serious crowd of our friend, our mutual friend, we know. So the point I'm trying to make, when he went even with Baba, to Kirinyaga, she made chance of that this is Hustler Nation issue. And that is why I'm saying, you know, Martha Karua appears so nice on paper. She's a paper tigeress. But she cannot have that that DNA. You know, the fact that Deputy President has been Deputy President for 9 years, he has been a member of Parliament, he has been Minister in Grand Coalition Government, he has been Assistant Minister. This is a person that has a DNA of how our government will be run. So it will be easy for Deputy President William Ruto to steer the government of Hustler Nation, unlike Tinga, who has always been in opposition, where he can easily steer opposition politics very well. And Martha Karua is a perfect deputy opposition leader.